Stick around with me, we'll take a look at an irresistible riff. Hey everybody, welcome to Overdrive Guitar Channel, or if you've been here before, welcome back. Today we're going to start a little series of riffs. I call it Irresistible Riffs, and you know, it's just aimed at those riffs that I just can't stop playing when I pick up the guitar, you know, when I should be practicing things I'm not good at, and I'm playing all these riffs that I love. Talking about those riffs, the riffs that are fun. Don't tell anybody, but I'm pretty sure the whole goal of playing guitar is to have fun. So this series should be relatively short videos. I'm going to try to keep the talking to a minimum. I'm going to try to keep all the fluff out. Just going to try to give you a fun riff to go and play or chop up and make your own, whatever you want to do. I can learn these little rhythm parts and chop them up and add these little parts to my vocabulary. So besides the goal of course, having fun, right? That's not the only goal. We also want to express ourselves. One way to do that is to kind of take these little phrases that we might know from songs that we love and maybe use little parts of them or rearrange them to say something that we want to say. So that's a little bit about kind of my goal in this series. Before we dive into the playing, real quick, the gear I'm using for all you gear hounds out there, this is a Squier 60s classic vibe. I got a Texas special in the neck, a 64 gray bottom in the middle, and a Duncan SSL1 in the bridge. I'm running into a Boss Katana direct, and any pedals I use will be up on the screen. For all you Katana users out there, my Katana settings look something like this. And the last thing before we get to the riff, if you love guitar riffs like I do, or guitar gear, guitar geekery, all that stuff, please hit like and subscribe. It goes a long way to help a small channel like mine. Now, if there's any riffs that you think are irresistible and you want to see me cover, or you just want to share, put them down in the comments. If it's not a riff, if it's a piece of gear you want to see me cover, or you want my opinion on something like that, throw it down in the comments. I answer just about any comment that's not derogatory, and some of those I answer too. So let's get into the riff. If you did not recognize this riff when I played it at the opening, which you might not have because I did play it a little slow compared to the recording, it is the riff from Joe Bonamassa's song John Henry. Now, it's no secret Joe Bonamassa is kind of a divisive guitar player, right? People love to hate him for some reason. Not really sure why. They hate the fact that he has all this nice vintage gear, but let's be honest, if you had the money, you'd probably have all that stuff too. So with that being said, despite what you may or may not think of Joe Bonamassa, this riff is killer, right? It's got like this almost halftime feel, even though it's so fast. It just makes it really heavy, and it's just catchy and fun to play. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna touch on really quickly is the timing. The thing that you really want to know about this riff is the first little hit on the E string starts a little bit before R1, okay? Just something to keep in mind. And if you've been playing guitar for a while at all, a lot of these classic riffs tend to have either a single note stab or maybe a slide before the one, right? They tend to start before the one, and it kind of keeps this circular motion going where you just want to keep playing the riff, right? Or if you're listening, you want to keep hearing the riff. It's just a really cool effect that has been used throughout rock history. We're going to start with a single hit on the E string 7th fret, and we're going to go to a bar on the 9th fret. of the A and the D string. Pull off to the 7th fret on those 2 strings. Go back to the 9th fret. So that first little section sounds like this. Now if you're playing up to tempo with the original recording, this is going to go by really fast, but we're going to take a look at it slow, which, if nobody's taught you, is the correct way to learn parts, right? Slow them down, learn them right, speed them up to the right tempo. So we're going to play that little part. We're going to go to another hit on the 7th fret of the E string, and then a bar on the 7th fret of the D and the G strings. Okay? So up until this point, it's going to sound like this. One more thing, if you're not comfortable putting your thumb over the neck, then don't. You can play this riff maybe just as easily with classical technique, I guess you'd call it. So don't worry about the fact that I'm playing thumb over. Not everybody feels comfortable doing that. So the next thing we're going to do is go back to our bar on the 9th fret. And once again, we'll drop down to our bar on the 7th fret. And back to our bar on the 9th. We're going to hit our 7th fret again. Surprise, bar at the 9th again. Down to our 7th fret again. So up until this point. Okay, now back up to our bar at the 9th fret. So all together we have. Now we're going to play our 7th and slide down to our 5th. Okay. Like I said, if you're not comfortable playing with your thumb over, use your finger. Okay. And we're going to play a power chord here, right? A D5 power chord. And we're going to end our phrase up at an A-shaped E chord, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to add that low E string in, right? Kind of like if you were playing in drop D, it really gives it that heavy sound, right? So you see how I'm muting the low E string on my D5 with the flesh of my finger, right? When I slide up to my E chord, I let the E string ring out. Okay, so the riff all together, slow, something like this. Okay, one more thing, if you're playing along with the recording, the last time he does that figure each time, instead of sliding down, he pulls off, and he actually pulls to an open E before he plays that D and goes up to the E chord. Okay, and the other thing is he holds that E chord and he slides it down to this B. And that's where he goes into the verse figures. It's kind of some single note lines, some kind of arpeggiated stuff. Really great song. Now, like I said, the original recording is at 144 BPM, so get that under your fingers, get it sped up if you care to play along with the original recording, or just get it under your fingers and have fun, right? I say it all the time, most important thing is to have fun. If you had fun today, please hit like and subscribe to support my channel. Please leave a comment down below if there's something you'd like to see on this channel, or if you just enjoyed the content. I've been John. Thanks for joining me.